And good, bright, and beautiful morning. And I think it is a bright and beautiful morning. I know the sun is up, which is awesome. That's always good. For a while there, we weren't sure how early that sun was coming up, but it is 8:45, so it is time for Racine Family Mornings with Kimberly Mann. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't been here before, we have a certain format we follow, and Mondays is Real Estate Rewind. And that is the day when I get to tell you guys or let you guys know about some really cool little story and a wonderful experience that I've had with a client in the past, and we talk about like what their needs were and how we were able to help them, or whether they were able to accomplish their goals or not. So, but we will talk about that and why I absolutely love the family that we're talking about today. It's one of our earlier ones as well. So I'm really rewinding way back. That they were actually Russ's first buyer clients. But first of all, if you do find any value in this content, we are on Facebook here, and you can leave a comment, you can share, you can give me a thumbs up. Really, the sharing is the most important thing. And I love seeing your comments, and I can see them when I'm live. So go ahead and drop a comment when I'm live, or even afterwards if you see this in replay, and I will happily respond to them. If you are on Facebook, of course, whoops, wrong one. If you are on Facebook, do me a favor, click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that you do not miss any of the content. And I actually have no idea why that button actually made that go. But yes, so go ahead and click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. But honestly, as I've talked about before, sharing is better on every platform. The sharing is the most important way. If you are finding value from this, or you are enjoying getting together with me every morning at 8:45 for a quick 15 minutes or less, then share it with other people who might enjoy it as well. And we can all kind of hang out and have a good time. So I actually do need to go to the chat here, and I need to restructure this because unfortunately I did not structure this properly, so I couldn't see the chat, and that wasn't very good. But I can see the chat for Facebook now. And let me just make sure. Yep, nothing in the chat there. And I can see the chat for YouTube. So both of those are available for you. So, yeah. So what are we going to talk about this morning? Well, this morning we are going to talk about the family who loves children. Okay, you're like, wait a second. Every family loves children. Well, first of all, not every family loves children. So if you think that, that's not true. But even families who have their own children, they don't always love children in a way that, like, that's why we have a foster care system. That's why we have a social care system in our country, because not all families do love each other the way they should. And some of you may have even come from a family who you learned as you got to be an adult that wasn't so great. But this family, this couple, adores children. I have to say that both of them are, and I'm going to say their first names, I won't use their last name, but Michael and Laura are probably the most nurturing, wonderful, caring couple I have ever met. And their reason for wanting to sell their home, is completely about that. So they actually wanted to sell their home, and they tried to sell it with another agent. And when that wasn't successful, I sent marketing out to them like a lot of other agents did. And they got my postcard, and they sat down with me and they said, we don't know what went wrong. And I looked at their account and I looked at what it was. Well, I can tell you at least one thing that quote unquote went wrong. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to tell you thing number one that went wrong is that they were priced too high, but not a lot too high. And I'm going to pull this up so I can see it. They started out, though, about, I don't know, just quite a bit too high. I actually thought they had expired at even higher than that, but apparently not. They ended up selling their house at one price, which ended up being $15,000 less than what they originally listed at. But they weren't stuck on their price. They had already paid off a lot of their house. They had plenty of money once they sold their house to move on to the next house. And that wasn't the problem. They were able to lower their price, but their agent just didn't tell them that that's what they needed, that they needed to just come down just a little bit. But there was another problem as well. And let me just take a look at something. So basically, they were listed until December, and the last time they came down on their price was in early November. And their agent just wasn't telling them. The first time they were listed, actually were listed with the other person for 154 days. And I'm not going to say who that agent was because they are still in business. They were listed with that other agent, and they listed in July of that year. And their agent did not suggest that they drop their price until they were in September, 2 months later. And they did. They dropped their price. They dropped it $5,000. I'm sorry. They were listed at the beginning of July. My apologies. They did drop it $5,000 by the end of July, but then they did not drop it again until September. Their agent was not, and they didn't get any showings. And I looked at their stuff, and even though, to be honest, when they were done, they were only about $3,500 above where I listed their house at. But when I listed their house, we did open houses, and right away, let me take a look at this. We listed their house in February. In February, we listed their house. And it was February 9th. And by February 22nd, they had an offer on their house. Now, keep in mind that this is back in the day when houses were taking forever to sell. And so we had them under offer in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We had them under offer, ready to close, and we closed like a month and a half later. That was more to do with the buyer's terms of the conditions and what they needed to do. And the main difference between my listing and the agent before me was not price. It's a little bit on price, but only by $3,500. That is not a big difference. The big difference came in that when you looked at the pictures from the other agent, their kitchen looked like a galley kitchen. Their front porch was full of clutter and toys. And what did we do different? What did Russ and I do differently? We walked into their house and we completely told them, start packing. Pack all your stuff up. Pack up all the toys for your kid except for 1 or 2 that are really important to him. Keep those out. Pack everything. Pack it. Start packing it. And move everything out to the garage. They had a great big 2-car garage, 2.5-car garage actually, that they only had 1 car in. They wanted a bigger garage. I think it was a 2.5. They definitely had a garage. Let me see if it was 2 or 2. Yep, 2.5-car garage. And he loved working on cars, so the new house had to have a 2-car garage as well. That wasn't a problem. But part of their garage didn't even have anything in it really. And they didn't use it. They just it was not enough room for another car, so they just kind of left it blank. So they had all this room in the garage, and we were like, pack. So we started moving all their stuff out. We actually physically helped them move stuff out to the garage. And then we took photos that we staged their house so that it was easy to walk through. It was easy for people to feel like there was space. And the photos we took made it really clear that their kitchen was about twice as big as what it appeared in the previous agent's listing. And what's funny is that when I look at my pictures, this is back before I used a professional photographer. My pictures are not that great. Like as in my actual pictures, they were really low light. They needed to be much better. But I staged the area of their front porch rather than it being a cluttered kids' playroom. When people walked into their front porch, it looked like a nice, homey place to sit and have a nice cup of tea in the morning. And we staged their living room so that it looked flawless and spotless and decluttered. And we staged their dining room so that the dining room table was really clear where it was, but it was free of clutter. And we made sure their kitchen looked spacious because it was spacious. It was absolutely, in fact, in the previous agent's photos, they didn't even show a whole pantry area right off the kitchen. And we just made sure that we showed off every single aspect of this house exactly as it should be, including the extra pantry stuff, the high whitewashed paneling. It was a small 2-bedroom, but getting back to why they wanted to sell, because we didn't get into that. So what you might not know about their story is that they had 1 young son. They could not have children, and they had already adopted 1 son. And their hearts were so full of love for children, they wanted to adopt another child. And they would adopt more if it was available. Unfortunately, adoptive parents are not allowed to adopt too many children. But what Michael and Laura did was they said, that's fine. They did all the work of, let's declutter your house. Let's stage your house. And this is back before I even did some of my soft staging where I brought in things. No, we just did all the staging with what they already had. And we cleaned up their room. And we made sure to make this happen really fast. They'd been on the market for 6 months with a 2.5-year-old trying to keep their house clean constantly. What a nightmare. And so we came in with a really hard line, fast, tough approach, made it really clear that we were going to get this sold quickly, and we did everything we could to get it sold. And one of the other things that we did that the other agent did not do is we did, let me see here, we did open houses. So we scheduled open houses and we did open houses. We did 2 open houses, and one of the open houses this client came to, I'm going to tell you, even now, that house was 10 years ago almost. Even now, open houses sell houses. I don't care what other agents say. I've sold too many that way. That's just the way it is. But where are Michael and Laura now? Well, Michael and Laura have now been in their new home for over 10 years. They welcomed a baby girl into their home a few years back. They did get approved to adopt another child. It took them a long time to find a child that was able to be a good fit for their family. Partly because there just weren't babies available, partly because a lot of women who are planning to give up their baby, if you already have a child, they want to give it to somebody who doesn't have a child yet. That's fair enough. That's their choice. No criticism. But it takes a lot longer when you're adopting. And they never gave up that dream. And now they have this beautiful baby girl in their home. Well, she's not a baby anymore. She's actually in school now and enjoying life. And their son, well, he's almost a teenager now, and that is so much fun to watch their family grow. We get to kind of lurk in the background here on Facebook and just watch them grow and know that we were able to be a very small part of making that dream come true. And for anybody out there that thinks all agents are jaded, we're not all jaded. Some of us are just thrilled when you allow us to be a tiny part of making your dream. It's your dream. It's your dream. We just want to help you achieve it. And if you are looking for somebody to help you achieve your dream, then give us a call. I'd love to talk to you. If I can help you achieve your dream, then I'm absolutely going to do it. But give us a call and let's see if we can make your dream not just a dream anymore. Just like Michael and Laura, their dream is no longer a dream. Their dream is a reality in 10 short years. Actually, in less time than that. It was actually their dream of getting the new house to get the new baby was accomplished within about 6 months. What's your dream? And can we get it accomplished in the next 6 months? Let us know. Thanks for joining with me today, and have a great one. Bye for now.